Hello, welcome back. A time for business news now, and Owen Fairclough's here. Hello, Owen.
Hello, Louise.
Owen, you have some manufacturing figures here in France that show just what a battle this country has on its hands.
They're just a couple of numbers, Louise. They come out pretty often, but these are significant. The manufacturing index in France up 44. To put that in context for you, 50 is the number. That is the benchmark. Anything below that, you have to start to worry about the state of an economy, and you should worry about the state of France. Remember, we've just had growth figures for France which show that the economy is flat, 0% growth. This just compounds the problem for the French. They've got a problem with competitivity. The election was partly fought along those lines, and this will simply make things more difficult for the French to try and get the economy back on its feet and try and find some sort of meaningful growth. That said, the CAC 40 here in Paris has opened up in positive territory along with the other European markets, all between 0.8 and 1% up. On the Asian markets, the Nikkei did manage to just about make it over the line towards the end of the trading day. You can see there it was deeply in the red for much of the trading session, up just a fraction. But let's not get carried away. The Nikkei is flirting at around the 8,500 point mark, and that basically means we're back to where we were at the start of the year, which wasn't very good back then.
And talking about markets, Owen, SAB Miller's results are out and they're strong.
Yeah, people still drink beer. Maybe they drown their sorrows, Louise, during hard times. We know this. Its annual net profit up 75%. This is for SAB Miller, with net profit of just over $4 billion. Interesting to look at their numbers, that it's sales in Africa that are the best performing, up 13% for the whole year. But it's the North American markets and the European markets where sales are actually down, which maybe proves that during the Eurozone crisis, people aren't hitting the bottle to drown their sorrows. And if you're invested in SAB Miller, then you should watch out for this as well. They say that further growth in developing markets will only see they will see further growth in developing markets, but only modest improvements in mature markets. Now, when you think here in Europe, we've got Euro 2012 coming up, lots of football fans should be guzzling beer then. You've got the Diamond Jubilee in the UK and the Olympics, and yet SAB Miller are saying that things aren't going to be that great for the rest of the year.
People clearly tightening the old money purses. Also, Hewlett-Packard's shares have staged a small recovery, rebounding nearly 12% in late trading, but that belies the state of the company that's synonymous with office computing. That's because it's laying off nearly 30,000 workers over the next couple of years. It seems HP's staff are paying the price for the firm's failure to adapt to the age of the tablet and smartphone.
The HP TouchSmart PC brings you closer to your world than ever before.
It is a major restructuring. Hewlett-Packard's business is being savaged by the rise of handheld devices such as computer tablets and smartphones. The company's profits in the second quarter slumped 31% to $1.6 billion. Areas of weakness: imaging and printing down 10%, notebook sales down 6%, and server storage and networking also down by 6%. The consequence, 27,000 HP jobs will go by 2014. That is 8% of its workforce. One of the key problems for the company has been instability at the top. The current chief executive officer, Meg Whitman, has only been in the job since September and is the fourth CEO in a little more than a year. Her move to restructure now is aimed at saving the company $3 to $3.5 billion to reinvest in the firm. Job cuts will include an early retirement program and impact nearly every part of the company's business and region. Another computer titan being rendered obsolete by the handheld revolution is Dell. On Tuesday, the number 3 PC maker worldwide reported a 33% drop in quarterly profits.
Okay, so if it's been a tough week for the likes of HP and Dell, Louise, then it's been a really bad week for Facebook. The social networking site's market debut has been mired in chaos ever since it listed on the Nasdaq on Friday. And things have got just a tiny bit worse for this company, with a group of investors now suing Facebook, claiming the company kept them in the dark about its true valuation in the run-up to that IPO.
From Facebook frenzy to Facebook fury in under a week. Mark Zuckerberg's social network, along with Morgan Stanley and other banks that took the company public, are being sued for concealing information in the run-up to Facebook's IPO last Friday.
What's being discussed is that there was information put in the prospectus which was vague. And then separately, people at Facebook allegedly were talking to Morgan Stanley and the other underwriters, giving them more information, adverse information, and that's what these cases are about.
It is alleged that Facebook specifically failed to disclose a slowdown in revenue growth due to more people accessing the network on mobile phones. The lawsuit against the company comes as its share price is in free fall. Shares started out on Nasdaq last Friday at $38. They're currently at $32. The IPO is being seen as botched. There were technical glitches on the day, and the pricing of shares too was bumped up at the last minute, and that is being seen as a mistake.
Unfortunately, the way that things have played out over the last week or so, it would seem to us that Facebook really has kind of an obligation to make it clear that they didn't do anything that they shouldn't have done. Otherwise, I think the related perceptions are going to be hanging over the company and the stock.
2 congressional panels are reviewing the IPO. The subject is likely to be raised in hearings in the coming weeks. Facebook, for its part, denies any wrongdoing.
But just to add to that, Facebook's shares did end the day, at least in a little bit of positive territory, Louise, up by about 3% at the close of play on Wall Street, which I think is their first day's gains since they started trading. Well, let's get a little bit more of the day's company news for you now. BMW has been fined €130 million for blocking sales to Swiss customers in other European countries. The Swiss Competition Commission imposed the fine for what it described as impeding direct and parallel imports. Regulators have been investigating the firm since October 2010. According to Bloomberg, Swiss citizens were paying around 25% more to buy a BMW in their home country compared to neighbouring Germany.
Adidas has made criminal complaints against 2 former executives of its Reebok subsidiary in India. The German sportswear giant has contacted police over a €125 million loss from what it describes as financial irregularities. Well, Adidas, of course, bought Reebok in 2005. Reebok has enjoyed significant market share in the country's national sport, cricket.
And Paramount Pictures has delayed release of one of the most anticipated blockbusters of the year in order to convert it into 3D. The new G.I. Joe Retaliation movie was supposed to hit screens at the end of June, but now won't be shown until March next year. Paramount, which made the movie with G.I. Joe toy manufacturer Hasbro, says it wants to cash in on higher box office ticket prices for 3D movies. It's a strange one, that, Louise. You'd think they might have thought of that before they made the movie, and with so much money riding on these blockbusters. But it probably just demonstrates just how important 3D sales are now to movies. They can charge around about $3. You obviously pay a lot more at the box office to go and watch a movie to get the 3D
to get
glasses.
the glasses, which you promised you'd come on set wearing, and yet you've let me down, Owen.
I left them at home. When we're in 3D, I will, of course, be wearing them.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to that. Thank you very much, Owen Fairclough, our business editor. That wraps up this edition, but do stay tuned. Claire Pride's back in just about 2 minutes.